Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome to our coffee times together. So today I decided that since it is the middle of the year, we are month 6 and a lot has been happening in 2020. So for us lovers of movies, it has been a tough year to get to see new releases. A lot of them have been postponed for later on in 2020, and some films have even been moved to 2021. So I just decided to make my full list of horror movies that I was still hoping to see this year, and I decided we will just, take a time to look throughout the movies that are still going to come out in 2020, those that are to be announced yet when they're going to be released even though they were planned for 2020, and the ones that have been moved to 2021.
It's coffee time!
So let's start with those horror movies that have just been moved but are still supposed to be released in 2020. And the first one is one that I was super excited about and is one of my most anticipated movies for 2020, and that is Antlers. This is a supernatural horror film directed by Scott Cooper, and one of the producers is Guillermo del Toro. My guess is that he helped with creating this creature that we will get to see in the film. The trailer luckily does not show too much, which I really appreciated. We are in a small town and we follow basically a teacher and one of her students, this little kid that apparently is hiding a dark secret. The film was supposed to come out in April 2020, but it has been pushed back due to the pandemic. I was not able to find any specific time of release, but it's still supposed to come out in 2020. I mean, this is already a film that was finished and already had a trailer, so I am hoping that it is still going to happen this year. Next we have Black Water's Abyss, and this is supposed to still come out on the 10th of July. This is a film that is a very typical film that we've seen made before. It's kind of like The Shallows or Crawl. We are following a group of friends that is going to explore some caves in Australia, and while they're there, there is a storm that comes and basically the caves get flooded. So they are trapped there, and suddenly they realize that they are trapped there with crocodiles. So this is a, kind of creature feature that is coming out in summer. I hope they're still able to release it in July as they have planned to, because it is a film that it really makes a lot more sense in summer. Next we have Malignant, and this is going to be the new film from James Wan, completely separate to the Conjuring universe, and unfortunately the plot is still unknown, so we don't know what's gonna be really about. The film was supposed to come out I believe in March 2020, but it has been pushed back to August, so I hope it's still going to see the light in the month of August. Next we have another movie that we also don't know much about, which is actually good, and that is Antebellum, and it's supposed to come out on the 21st of August. The trailer didn't, give you much information about what's gonna happen apart from the imaginary, and I'm really excited about it. All I know is that there's supposed to be this very successful author that gets trapped in this kind of horrifying reality, and she's supposed to solve a mind-bending mystery, but they have left everything pretty vague, which makes us obviously want to watch the movie even more. Next we have The Devil Made Me Do It, The Conjuring 3, that it's supposed to come out in September 2020. This is directed by Michael Chavez, who is the director of The Curse of La Llorona, and people say, that Wong wanted to test him with that one to see if he wanted to give him The Conjuring 3. And this is going to be the direct sequel to 2013 The Conjuring and 2016 The Conjuring 2, and it's still going to follow Ed and Lorraine Lauren, that are of course played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and this one is one that I'm really excited about because the spin-offs of the Conjuring universe have been okay-ish ones more than others, but I am really excited to finally see part 3 of The Conjuring. Next we have A Quiet Place 2 that was also supposed to come out in March 2020, but it was pushed back to September due to the pandemic, and I am so excited about this one. I absolutely loved part 1, and this one has also been done by John Krasinski that did such a great job with the first film, and it's basically going to follow exactly where we left in part 1, and I am super excited. This is one of my favorite films from the last years, just because it was kind of different, it was really effective, and when I was watching the film, like, time flew by, like when I realized the movie was over, because I was so invested. So this is also one of the releases that I am most excited about. Next we have Candyman, and this is going to be based, of course, in the short story The Forbidden by Clive Barker, and this one is going to come out as well at the end of September. And yeah, the Costa is going to be the director, but one of the writers and people involved with the project is Jordan Peele, which is one of the reasons why I had a little bit more faith on this film. It was supposed to be a remake slash reboot of the first film, but now it is going to be a sequel. And one of the things that I really like is that they have brought back Tony Todd. I was so scared they were going to recast Candyman, because I mean, Tony Todd can still pull it off. Of course he's older, but he is the Candyman, and I really did love the original trilogy. I think it has a, you know, a vibe for itself, and it's really hard to replicate that nowadays. So I'm just hoping that because Jordan Peele was involved and I really like his work, that this one is gonna be great. Then I would like to mention here The Night House, because even though it was released apparently in January, it doesn't come to Germany and the Netherlands until October 2020. So for us, it's going to be a new release. And that is, like I said, The Night House, and it's going to be kind of like a horror thriller, more in the supernatural side. We have here a woman whose husband suddenly passed away, and she's in a lake house that he built for her, when she starts to notice that there is this kind of presence in the house, and even though her friends tell her to get out of there, she starts investigating and going through you know, her husband's stuff to figure out what's happening. And the last one that we have confirmation that it's still gonna come out for sure in 2020 is Halloween Kills, and I'm excited that this one is still happening. Of course, it's going to be released in October for Halloween month, and this is directed by David Gordon Green, and it's going to be a direct sequel to Halloween from 2018, which I really enjoyed. And we have here again Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle reprising their roles of Laurie and of Michael Myers, and it's going to take, basically, it's going to start from where Halloween from 2018 left, and I'm super excited. This is going to be the second film on this new trilogy. Now let's go to the movies that are to be determined when they're coming out, but they're still supposed to be released in 2020. The first one is actually a Netflix release, and it's called Army of the Dead, in which a group of mercenaries are planning a heist exactly when there is a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, I believe. So I'm guessing this is gonna be fun, but it does have Dave Bautista in it that I really like. So I don't know, I think it's just gonna be a fun horror zombie movie. Next we have Prisoners of the Ghostland, which is going to have this kind of criminal hero that is going into this dark supernatural world to try and rescue a girl that has been kidnapped. And in the film we have Nicolas Cage, which I feel he has been in such interesting roles in the last couple of years, and I am tending to like his new movie choices. So this is one that I am excited to watch. Next we have Run, which is kind of like a thriller horror, and this was announced for 2020 and it has been postponed. We still don't know if it's gonna happen this year, but we shall see. It does star Sarah Paulson, that I love. The plot evolves around a teenage girl in a wheelchair that suspects her mother is keeping really dark secrets from her. Next we have The Reckoning. This is a British adventure horror film, so it's going to be interesting to see the combination of these genres. We are following a world after the Great Plague, and that is when women started to be hunted down for being considered witches. And of course our main character is having that exact problem. Her husband passed away, and there are some people that are suspecting that she is a witch, so they are trying to hunt her down. I really like this concept. I've always been really fascinating about those times where people believed some women were witches. Horrible. It was horrible that they did that and that they burned them alive, but it is a fascinating thing. So I would like to see how this movie is approaching it. Next we have I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This is based on a novel from 2016 by Ian Reid. I just read that novel actually not long ago, and I really enjoyed it. It's about this couple that is in the car, and they are going to visit his parents. They start to talk about life and other things, and then the story just gets darker and darker, and it's definitely a book that is short. It's around 200 something pages, and I'm intrigued to see what they did with the film, because the way the book reads, kind of the opening is a little bit open to interpretation of what are the, you know, the different types of interpreting what happened. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I am excited to see what they decided to do with the movie, if they're also kind of going to leave everything a little bit up for interpretation, or if they're just going to focus on one of the ideas. Next we have False Positive, and the only thing that I know about this film is that it's going to be a modern interpretation of Rosemary's Baby. There is not much more information out there about the film, so I don't know if it's still gonna come out on 2020 as it was supposed to, but we shall see. Next we have The Banishing, which is based on one of the most haunted houses in England in the 1930s, and a family of course moving in this mansion. So I'm guessing it's going to be your typical gothic story of ghosts. But again, there's not much information. These movies that we don't know if they're still gonna happen in 2020, there was not much to them that I was able to find, but you know, I thought I would put the names out there so you know that these ones are coming. I don't know if 2020 or 2021, but just to keep them on our radar. Next we have Shut In, directed by Jason Bateman, and this is going to be one of those horror thrillers. It's kind of more on the psychological side, and it's this typical film where people are being put into a situation where they have to really fight for their lives. You know, it's kind of like those survival thrillers, and we have here a woman and her kids are being kidnapped by their ex-husband. Next we have Castle Freak, which is going to be a remake from the movie by the same name from 1995, and it's this girl called Rebecca that inherits this kind of castle in Albania in a rural kind of zone, and she decides to go there with her boyfriend and her friends. But when they get to this castle that she inherited, they realize that there is a lot of dark secrets that the family has been keeping from her. Next we have The Wrong Turn, The Foundation, and this is going to serve as a reboot and the 7th installment in the Wrong Turn franchise. It has to do with the Alpacas Mountains and these people called the Foundation, who are people that live in those mountains and have been kind of cut off from civilization. Honestly, I don't know if we need a new Wrong Turn movie. I think 6 is enough, and it's not like they were getting extremely good. I really did love the first one, and the other ones, they are fun. They are popcorn horror films, and it's nice to make a marathon to watch all 6 of them. But do we still need to be producing these films? Maybe not. Now let's talk about a couple of films that were supposed to be released in 2020 but that have been pushed to 2021. I'm gonna make it as quick as possible, and let's start with the first one, which was originally called The Organ Donor, and now it's called Spiral, and this is going to be like the new Saw movie. It stars Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock. It's going to be, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to expect from this film, but it was supposed to be released in May 2020 and they have made the decision to push it back to 2021, so we're going to have to wait until next year. Next, we have one that hurts me a lot, and that is The Forever Purge. This is the last installment on the Purge series, and there is no plot known, but I was still hoping that it was going to come out in 2020. The Purge movies are one of my guilty pleasures, if you may. I recognize they are not the most perfect, well done films, but there's something about them that I just love, and I really enjoyed all of them. Some of them were stronger than others. My favorite still remains the second one, Purge Anarchy. But I was really excited to finally see the last movie, and now I'm gonna have to wait to 2021. And the last one is The Last Night in Soho. This is based on the 1960s, and it's all about the dark secrets also that were happening in London around that time, and a young girl. We also don't know way too much about it. It was also supposed to come out this year, but it has been officially postponed to 2021. Okay, so these were all the movies that I wanted to mention. I know there's a lot of them, but because I was doing this list for myself really, so that I could keep track of the things that were still coming out and when, and which ones had been postponed, I decided, you know, it would be nice to share the information with you guys in case you also want to know what's the status right now with all of the releases that were postponed in March, and we still kind of are in the limbo right now. We still don't know what's gonna happen. So I hope that this video was useful. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down below, what are you most excited to see that it's still going to come or that has been postponed. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support. Feel free also to share this video on your social media, you know, so that I can get to more people to come and join the coffee family. And if you want to follow me in other social media, the links are all down below, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye.